What's up, everybody? It's the CRAPPeeGamer. You know what? Fuck it. I ain't doing that shit no more. Basically, I'm here today just to talk to you as a normal gamer. Who I am, why I did what I did, and just giving you my overall opinion on the state of gaming now, why CRAPPeeGamer does what he does, and just, things in general, coming to you as a realist. Excuse me. I want to start off, with CRAPPeeGamer, why he does what he does. He does what he does, number one, money. You can make boatloads of cash now on YouTube. He gets maybe a couple thousand views. He puts out multiple videos a day. It's like dropping pennies in a bucket. It adds up. And, good for him. He's trying his thing. It's hard to stand out in YouTube. It's hard to be the PewDiePies and the people who get millions and millions of hits. One of my favorite YouTubers that talks pretty good general sense and is about my age and makes real good sense is, Rich at Review Tech. Go check him out. He's got a great channel and, he's got a ton of subscribers, but, tops out at maybe 100K views. Now, that's still a lot in this very, very crowded space of YouTube, but he makes a lot of good sense and he has great production value. Another reason why CRAPPeeGamer does what he was, he does things to be a douche, to get clicks, again, to all drive back to get his money. He says he owns all consoles, he's a true gamer, but you gotta have an edge, you gotta have a shtick, you gotta have a personality. And his personality is being a living, breathing, even Microsoft fan that, makes fun of and says things about Sony to get people to react, to get people to show videos, share it with your friends, get comments, get likes, get subscriptions, and it all goes back to money. And he's serious about it. He's got custom music for his startup, t-shirts, has people making them art and stuff. I highly doubt he's done all that on his own. And again, that all takes time, money, and it's just, good for him. That's all I gotta say. Moving on from him, me and my history of gaming is I'm 34 years old. I've been around since the beginning. As early as I can remember playing video games, I had an Atari. My father got us growing up an Atari. And soon after that, it went to an NES, and then every system under the sun, from all the Game Boys to all the PlayStations to all the Genesis and attachments and peripherals to the Sega Dreamcast, Saturn, PlayStation, you name it, all the Xboxes, DS's, PlayStation Portables, Vitas, have it all. And I'm also a very avid, PC gamer. Being that I had an Atari young, and I was fortunate enough that my father was in the computer industry, and what I mean by that was he was on the enterprise side, the server side of things. We always had computers in our home. We were always building them, always tinkering with them, always at the cutting edge of gaming, because PC was primarily, and it's always really been ahead of console gaming. The only time consoles kind of really had an edge on PC gaming was when the PS3 and Xbox 360 first launched, and then it just, the PC just blew it away and left all of it in the dust, pretty much. So, that's my history with gaming. I really call it like I see it. I could care less if Sony's better. I could care less if Microsoft is better. I can care less if the PC is better. It's just, I'm a gamer at the end of the day. I like games. I like playing games. It's just, it's a hobby. It's what we do as gamers. But now I kind of want to just focus on the PS4 Pro and Scorpio, because everyone is blowing so much crap out of proportion, and it's just getting kind of ridiculous. So, I have a few bullet points to talk about. I think people really need to stop overreacting. PlayStation, Sony, they've had this little dream to make the Pro for a while now, and you can't just change things mid-production. It takes time, it takes money, it takes R&D. You just can't do it. Developers want more power out of these current consoles because they came out of the gates underwhelmingly just underpowered, and right off the bat, it was just they were jokes. I mean, PS4 sold incredibly well, but they're jokes. Both systems right now, they're absolute jokes. So both Sony and Microsoft had to do something, and developers were saying you have to do something. And so Sony's just like, you know what? They're taking the iPhone route, pretty much, in my opinion. Uh, they're doing a TikTok release, almost like Intel with their Pentium chips. You know, you have this iPhone 6, then the 6S, then the 7, 7S, and the 8, and then the cycle continues. And I think this is what Sony and Microsoft are doing. You know, Sony's doing a mid-generation. Call this the talk. Call this the iPhone 6S. You know, you're getting more power. And you know, people are going to buy it. It's still going to do well. Everyone's trashing it. But there's still people who are going to use it. And at the end of the day, it's going to sell remarkably well. You can buy 2.5 times more powerful console for the same price you were going to walk in and buy a PS4 anyway. You're going to buy it. Everyone's going to buy it. It's not like it's going to die and be dead out of the gate. So it's going to do fun stuff, and people are going to enjoy it. So let's just leave it at that. Xbox Scorpio, though, that's an interesting thing because I'm going to buy it, but what has me very worried is the way Phil Spencer has been talking about it at the moment, about being a premium console, and you really only get a benefit from it if you have a 4K television. That's very interesting. You know, that's almost as weird of a point as Don Matrick said when the Xbox One was first announced. I was like, if you don't want a game with Kinect and you want to, you know, have backwards compatibility and all that, you know, and you don't want DRM, you game on an Xbox 360. So that's almost the feeling I'm getting when Phil Spencer, he's just going to be like, if you don't want to pay the premium price of Xbox Scorpio, and you don't want a game, you know, at the 4K resolutions, HDR, and buy yourself a 4K television, then the Scorpio is just not for you. Stick with the Xbox One. And I just think that is very elitist. I think that's a very bold thing to say to consumers, because again, the adoption rate of 4K is not as big as HD. And granted, everyone's going to get there. But it's a very interesting thing. And you know, what people don't realize is there's a lot to dissect with 4K. Not every 4K television can do HDR. Different 4K televisions have different latency inputs with 4K. So you're really going to have to do your work when you want to get a 4K television that does HDR, and then that will play your video games at the right pacing, so to say. Like when you press that button on your Xbox One controller, it better throw a punch or throw a fireball or shoot that gun and not be delayed, so to say. So people really have to, you know, be careful with that when you know, these 4K systems come out. I'm just very, very interested that they're really all double downing on this 4K, both companies. I just don't know. But what I really liked about Sony was it's kind of a gray area, and we're still trying to find out the details. But at least if you have a 1080p, which is a normal HD television that a lot of us have, it is going to make the performance and things run better and look better. So I kind of like that. We haven't heard anything about Scorpio. It's way too new. I'm sure after hearing what they've heard from Sony, they're going to throw that in there as well. They can't alienate themselves and just say it's going to be a 4K console. I just don't think that's a smart move in any way, shape, or form. You're just going to alienate yourselves. Where I think the future of gaming is going, no more discs. Everything's going to be digital download. The media of a CD is dying very, very quickly. Practically, like I just said, you say CD and people look at you like you're an idiot. You know, video games on Blu-ray is really not going to matter anymore. The fact that, you know, the PlayStation doesn't even play the discs is, you know, the HD Blu-ray is really It's not that big of a deal. The sales of Blu-rays are so down. It's not even funny. I mean, if people really make this an issue, you're just making an issue to be, click a checkbox that, oh, my system can do better than yours, and it's just quite ridiculous. And I really think you are going to go to a cloud system. These consoles, at the rate of technology as it's increasing, you're not going to keep up. The day PS4 Neo Pro now comes out, it's outdated. The day Project Scorpio comes out, it's outdated. There's already going to be, by that time, probably the GTX 11 line, the 1180, the 1170, the new Titan, and it's just going to take a dump on Project Scorpio. Developers are already going to be maxing out the console within months, and you're just going to have to go to cloud gaming at some point just to keep things relevant. And with Microsoft having the Azure cloud, I don't know why they aren't tripling, doubling down on this technology, but maybe they are in the background and they're just not telling us. Because you can't just keep up with the rate technology increases. You just can't keep up with it. The way graphics cards come out, the way developers need more power, better engines, better this, that, the other thing. You just can't be releasing consoles like this all the time and expect people to pay. I mean, set-top boxes, they're going to be a thing of the past eventually. I mean, it's all coming, but right now we got a few more consoles to buy before that all goes away. Yeah, why I'm probably going to quit making YouTube videos. I might do it occasionally for shits and giggles if one of his videos is like way out of left field, but it's too much time editing, playing video games. I don't get to do it as much as I used to, but playing it to get the video to have running in the background. I have a full-time job. I got a life. I just don't have time to do this and entertain people. That's why being a YouTube personality really is and becomes like your job if you want to make money and have that be your job. And I just, I do this shit for fun. I don't have it in me. Well, that's it, everybody. This is CRAPPeeGamer out. Remember, we tag them and bag them. Yeah.